Hey, St. Joseph's, day 16 of the Consecration. We're moving along, and today was a cool reading, I think. It was Joseph, the Just Man, right? The title is Joseph Most Just, right? And I think this is the kind of most powerful one so far, because we live in a society where everybody likes to say, I'm a good person, right? I'm a good person, right? I'm a good person. I'm a good person. Everybody says that. But the question is, are we good people? Because when you try to really live out the life of virtue, a life of holiness, it's really hard. And I think this is where Joseph becomes one of the greatest examples ever, because the Bible describes him as a just man. And this chapter is filled with quotes of everybody in the history of the Catholic Church just saying Joseph had all the virtues. So that's where I think he becomes the most powerful intercessor for us, because we're trying to be good people, and he was. Like, he was the one that could actually say, hey, I'm a good man. But I'm sure he wouldn't say that. He'd probably say it's all thanks to the grace of God. But what does it mean to be a good person? What does it mean to be just? So the virtue of today is justice. Now, justice is usually defined in the past as, or classically with the ancients and then medievals, and then the Catholic Church itself defines it this way, of giving another their due. Right? So when I give you that which is owed to you, not just like if I borrowed something, I give it back, that's just, right? But the respect you deserve, the dignity, right? Like we live in an age where we're talking about like, what are our rights, right? And that's like, justice ensures that your rights are available and met. And so when we're talking about Joseph the Just, right, it is useful for us to kind of frame that giving the other their due to God, right? Especially as Christians, as Catholics, the question becomes like, all right, am I just to everybody? Am I just to God? Because I think a lot of the times when we ask ourselves, am I giving God his due, right? First off, that can't be met, right? Like it's a grace from God that he's willing to even like kind of bow down to where we can give him anything, right? Like that's a very deep Catholic theology, is like we can only merit things because God like is humble enough to say like, okay, I'll just take this little bit from you, right? Like I'll do all the heavy legwork, I'll save you, but I'll let you offer up stubbing your toe so that you can help, right? Like, even though I'm really doing all the work, I'm nice, I'll let you do it. I've heard a lot of cool examples before of like, it's like if a dad was going to make a cake for, his wife for Mother's Day, and he let his little kid help him. Like, the little kid probably isn't going to help much. They'll probably make more of a mess. Whenever I ask Thomas to help me cook, really, he's just making a big mess. He's contributing very little. I'm doing all the work. But then I can turn to my wife and I can say, me and Thomas made you dinner, right? Me and Thomas made you this cake for Mother's Day. So God is nice enough to do that, right? Like, I'm going to save the world, but I'm going to be nice enough to give you a little bit of an area where you can help too. So anyway, Joseph the Just, giving God his due, right? So why, do we give God his due? I think a lot of the times it's easy to say like, oh yeah, for God, I'm good to my kids, I'm good to my wife, I'm nice to the people I meet, I smile at my waitress and waiters, things like that. But those are just what we're called to do on a normal just level, right? Do we give God his due? And the author of the book, Father Calloway, brings up some good points when he says, why do we go to Mass? Do we go to Mass to see people? Do we go to Mass to hear the good music? Do we go to Mass to hear the good homily? Or do we get upset when we're at Mass because the homily's not good, or the music's not good, or so-and-so didn't say hey to us? Like, or do we go to Mass for God, to render him his due? Do we go to Mass and say like, Lord, I'm here. I don't care if the music's bad. I don't care if, no one talks to me. I'm here for you. I'm here for no reason other than this is what you like, and I want to give you what you like. I have prayed the rosary daily for the past several years of my life, but I feel like so many days I pray the rosary, I just do it as if like, oh gosh, it's, I'm about to go to bed, I forgot to pray the rosary, and so I shoot through it while I'm like also like cleaning the kitchen or something, where it's not the best rosary. But what I want to do, what I need to do, and what I do sometimes, and now that I'm saying it on camera, I'll do tonight, is I want to pray the rosary with the mindset that, hey, this is what Mary and Jesus like. Like, they enjoy it when I pray the rosary. And so I want to pray this to bring them enjoyment. The Lord likes it when we go to Mass. We can't go to Mass right now because of the quarantine. But the Lord likes it when we go to Mass. The Lord likes it when we pray the rosary, right? Like, that brings him joy. That brings Mary joy. That brings Joseph joy. When we pray the litany to Joseph, it brings him joy. So are we going to render them their due? Are we going to pray, live, go to Mass, worship with the idea of not what do I get out of this, but rather I'm doing this to give them what they're owed. And because I love them, I want to go even beyond that, right? I want to pray the rosary in the manner knowing that Mary is finding joy in this. So, what is the thing that you can do to step up your game, right? To render God his due? What is the thing, like me with the rosary? I need to pray it knowing that this is like, Mary gets more joy out of this than I do out of watching The Office on TV. So, I need to pray it with that enthusiasm. What is it that you need to work on with that enthusiasm to bring about an act that God can find joy in? Let me know in the messages or comments. God bless.